UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. Who are we and why are we, we're together again? I'm Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
For those of you that are listening and aren't gracing yourselves with these visages of nerdiness, me and Richard are getting the chance to hang out together to do this show.
We're in the basement.
Yeah, we're in my fortress of solitude. He says with a single tear running down his eye. No, we had just recently gotten a chance to get together to go see Ant-Man Quantumania.
Right.
We have both a spoiler and spoiler-free that should be hitting the etherwebs here shortly, if not already by the time
this probably before us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hanging out. We had a chance to talk, and this last week or so, we've had we've had quite a bit of stuff come out.
Yeah, there was that one sporting event that released.
Yeah, it was like this minor league football game. Well, what I hear was it was this great Rihanna concert, and like all of a sudden this football game broke out. Like, why is there a football game happening? During this Rihanna concert. We are of course mentioning the Super Bowl. We're not that bad. My money was on Team 2, but Team 1 pulled it in. But if there's anything the Super Bowl has always been historically famous for, aside from great halftime shows, is the commercials.
Right.
And the only commercials we really give two damns about are the movies and
Doritos. No.
Doritos. Doritos was really good. This year was a little
light.
It was a little light. There were.
Of course, there's not that much really coming out.
No, there's not. Here's what was really bad this is how bad the gambling thing is that people were laying odds on what commercials we were going to see, and a lot of them made complete sense, but we only got a fraction of them. You know, like one of the big ones everybody was hoping for was the Marvels.
We just got the one little tidbit of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It was an interesting trailer.
It was a great yes. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It definitely feels like it picks up from the Christmas special.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that we're going to get to see Rocket's past.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be featured more in this movie. His past is going to catch up with him. That's how I want to say it.
The preview showed little snippets of Adam Warlock.
Right.
I'm still wondering how much of a role he is actually going to play, because they're hyping up that other bad guy.
That's going to be like the High Evolutionary.
That's what my money's on High Evolutionary. I'm saying you right here now, my money's on High Evolutionary.
That's what it looks like.
Because the whole thing, they showed a little bit of Rocket's history, but also he had a friend, a fellow animal, that was captured.
Who knows?
We got to see the return. Well, not the return. We got to see the premiere of some very familiar looking costumes.
Oh.
We got to see the Guardians, especially, classic style Guardians of the Galaxy uniforms. It wasn't just everybody wearing whatever t-shirt they were wearing that day. They were suited up,
Yeah. Yeah, it was really wild because a Gamera is back. It's like not the same.
Yeah, it's Gamora, but not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't even. Was it. Again, it was kind of like going along the lines of Quantumania, where it's just like multiverse. Was it our Gamora from a different time period, or a branched off different?
Who knows?
But anyways, it's not the Gamora that had the relationship with Peter.
Right. That
even liked Peter, because evidently there is no love lost, on Gamora's side when it comes to Peter.
Maybe doesn't know who he is,
Yeah. definitely I love that we're getting to see more of Nebula though.
Oh yeah.
I love me some Karen Gillan, and just seeing them actually, that was some great character development, seeing her evolve as a character.
Yeah, it's funny about the eyes.
That was, I don't know who it was you were in love with, but it sounds more like her. And I loved Nebula's reaction was very sister-like.
Yeah, it was.
That was, because I have a sister, and I have friends that have siblings. That tone came from an actress who came from a family of siblings. Because it was, do not drag me into this. No, that delivery was not from an only child. But like, do not drag me into this. But it was freaking Peter's look. He's like, she's like, stop looking at me like that. Well, I'm just saying,
You got black or dark eyes.
You got the most beautiful black eyes. Thanks. My father gave them to me when he ripped out my other ones. Well, he picked out a nice set. Like, oh my God.
So, hopefully that'll be a fun summer movie.
The one character that I'm really hoping that we see more of too is Cosmo.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that...
Especially after the Christmas special.
Yes! Oh, man. I loved... Oh, his friend Quill. You could... yeah. I am very curious to see... I mean, even with, like, Ant-Man Quantumania, like, we knew who the bad guy was. We knew where, what the forum was going to be. But, this one right now, I mean... We thought it was going to be Adam Warlock, but...
Well, he's technically not a villain in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
Yeah, he's a weapon, basically.
Yeah.
But who knows where...
We thought he was going to be the protagonist.
Yeah.
But now it's leaning more towards...
Or that could be just all in the flashbacks.
Very possible, yeah.
Just the way they put the trailer together, they just did that on purpose to throw you off a little bit, but also get you intrigued what... Rocket's passes, because they kind of leaked that's what this is about. So.
Yeah. The other big trailer that dropped during the Super Bowl that had me excited was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I'm all for this one. I really am, especially the fact that the trailers that we've seen so far have been Shia LaBeouf free. Word is they probably aren't going to acknowledge it. Because that last movie, man, I if you go back into the archive, I don't remember, but I know myself well enough to know that there's probably a 20-minute rant on one of our previous episodes of me tearing that movie a new butthole, because that movie sucked so bad. And I mean, you had Indy, you had Marion, you had John Hurt,
and aliens,
and monkeys, that sword fight. Oh man, that was
a very bad green screen.
Very bad. Oh my God, dude, that was like Adobe Photoshop.
we did better than that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that movie was horrible. That movie was bad.
See, that drops this summer.
Yeah. The preview looks good, but maybe because we're not really 100% sure what the damn movie's about yet.
Yeah, is it time travel? Is it...
Yeah. Well, they did show something that they're going to do some flashbacks. So they're going to do the de-aging, on Harrison,
so a lot of people is joking around that could be, like, time travel,
Yeah.
I don't see that.
No,
That'd be like jumping the shark for you.
Yeah, yeah. Another one I'm surprised to hear myself say I'm looking forward to was the new Transformers movie.
Yeah, it was a 30-second little blip, but I've seen some other stuff. I think this might look okay.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want to about the other ones. It was...
Yeah, I like Bumblebee though.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. Bumblebee as a standalone movie was excellent. Yeah. That was how you do it.
Yeah, I've always liked the first Transformer, and then
same here.
It kind of slid a little bit, and the second was okay, and then
yeah. After Marky Mark stepped up, it was just kind of like it's bad when LaBeouf says I'm out. When LaBeouf says I'm out, no. But this one looks really good because the introduction of Optimus Primal.
Yeah, the Beast Wars stuff.
Yeah. I was more excited about that than the Dinobot. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is. I'm hopeful for it. With probably matinee.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I mean the previews.
They did have that one Fast movie.
Oh, you're gonna have to take over on this one, man, because I gave up on the.
We're on the 10th one, and they decided not to do 11, so they made 2 10s.
Yeah.
10 point, 10.1, 10.2,
Yeah.
and then 3, 4, whatever.
Yeah.
But at least we got Aquaman as the villain.
Yeah. Aquaman behind the wheel. Yeah.
That he got thrown into the ocean or whatever.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mismatch, and even got Captain Marvel in it. So
Yeah.
He's stealing from everybody.
Yeah.
Ever since he lost the Rock,
Yeah.
I know, I digressed there, folks.
I was thinking of. Speaking of Aquaman, along the lines of the DCU, we did get to see the trailer for The Flash.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the deal.
You mean?
Yeah. I'm not referring to it as The Flash. I'm referring to it as the next Batman movie that The Flash cameos in.
The Batman Returns.
Yes. It is. We are not going to get into a huge Twitter argument, but it is what it is when it comes to Ezra Miller.
Yeah. He's bad.
Yeah.
The actor.
Yeah. It won't. And the other thing that's disappointing is knowing that it has no consequence. The DCU is gone.
Yeah. So they just have to release it because they have too much money invested in it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Even though they had too much money invested in the Batgirl movie, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. But at least in this, not only are we getting Batman, we're going to see Superwoman.
Right. That looked nice.
It really did. And I like the way they're playing with the idea of the multiple reality, the multiverse.
So will this be like the Supergirl that was originally in the Man of Steel with the empty ship?
Oh, his cut. I don't know. I'm betting. Again, speculation here, where it's still too early. I'm betting parallel universe, multiverse universe, where Clark was born a woman. Yeah. He was, it's not Kal-El. Yeah. It's like,
whatever.
Because it
could be called Kal-El anyhow.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a girl's name.
Yeah, we don't know.
Or a female-ish name.
Yeah, and it could be Callie Kent, or Kelly Kent.
I don't know. I just think they're going to tie up that one loose thread from the Man of Steel.
Yeah. That's
what I'm hoping. That way we at least get a little flashback. Because that's kind of what happened when the Supergirl movie came out. They couldn't get the fourth Superman made at that time, so they had Helen Hunt's.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Helen Slater.
Slater. Yeah, I said Helen. The wrong blonde.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. But the big, oh my God, the collaborative jaws dropping across the entire nerd fandom when Michael Keaton walked onto frame and so nonchalantly, yeah, I'm Batman. Oh! Because we knew that was coming.
Right.
But to see it, and then we even saw more of Ben Affleck.
Right.
Which I didn't know that they were going to...
They went back and reshot that.
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to pull that off. I thought it was, especially with the news about what the DCU's... It's like, cut our losses, take it all out. No, there he is. And you know who the diehard fans are, because it was like one of the biggest things that was like smacked the internet was The first part was when they showed all the different bat suits.
Oh.
Which completely makes sense. But then they showed like a zoomed in part over here of the very classic gray and blue style bat suit.
Oh yeah.
From the early period, and even from like I think there he is. Like I'm not gonna dig it out, but I have an action figure of the blue and the gray. But then we saw later that snippet of Affleck in a blue or the gray with the blue cowl, doing it's like we're seeing it in action, and now it's like everybody's trying to piece together all the threads. Like, well, is this a complete separate universe, or is he, this from this one, or
is it just gonna be a hot mess?
It's gonna be hot. Yes.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm not really.
No, I agree. Here's what it. Again, the opinions and expressions that perform. Disclaimer. Our opinions. It's going to be a hot mess. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have some nuggets of gold. Somebody swallowed those nuggets of gold. And then they pooped this movie. Now, the majority of it is a big steaming pile of poop. But if you're brave enough and you got good enough gloves and you dig through the poop, hey, look, there's a nugget of gold. There's a shiny nugget of gold, And I give Michael Keaton that respect where I said gold and not corn. I could have been, no. We do not bring shame upon the house of Tim Burton and Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
That
I still
we
want
hold
Batman Beyond with him, but
Oh my God, so much yes. And maybe this is the gate.
Yeah.
Maybe this is,
Who knows?
I mean, God bless him, but we got to see before he passed, we got to see Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So anything is possible, and it might have been, who knows, maybe their thought was Michael Keaton wasn't old enough yet to play that role. Maybe they're still sitting on it. I'm hopeful.
Knows? Ben Affleck could probably play it by now.
No kidding. Hold on, Terry. Let me get. Oh my God, where's my dog? But no, I would love to see more of Michael Keaton as it because he just.
I kind of like to see the movie bomb myself, but.
It's going. Yeah.
I really don't want to see them make money off of this.
I'm torn because I am of the same opinion, but I also want to see. It's like a train. Well, we're gonna.
Yeah.
I just realized we're gonna have to take that expression out of our vernacular.
That's true.
I want to see that hot mess.
Yeah, that's why.
I want to see that, like you said, it's like I don't want to contribute to it making money, but also at the same time, I want to see that hot mess. Like, look. It's like we're going to walk into the theater and like, look, we all agree this is going to suck. We're going to talk during this movie. If you are here thinking this is going to be anything other than a hot mess, here's $20. Go see the 7 o'clock show. This is for us. That would be the movie, Richard, to rent the theater. I will bring the Swiffer wet jet with me because we will clean. I will clean up the popcorn that we will throw at the screen, and it's. You're absolutely right. It's gonna be a cobbled together.
It's been re-edited 5 times, 6 times.
Oh yeah.
By different. Yeah, it's just not. It's not gonna work.
No. And that one scene they cut out, Spider-Man Noir showed up for some reason. We don't know how the hell that happened. But yeah,
that's the live action that's coming out.
I know.
Amazon Prime.
Oh man, if they can get Nick Cage to do it. Oh, put him up your lugs. Oh my God, I would love that.
Let's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a train wreck. I mean, it would take nothing short of a miracle for it to be good.
Right. At least HBO Max has got some other stuff going on for it.
Yes, let's jump on it. Man, I'm telling you, we could do our own podcast full on beginning to end just on The Last of Us. I am going to say this right now. I've talked to a few other people who watch the show. In my opinion, for me, The Last of Us is the best show I've watched in a long time. I stand by that show so much. It really is genuinely, and not even because of my history with the game. I have, I've said before, I'll say again, I played both of them multiple runs.
Right.
So this is one of my favorite games. But as a show, it is one of the best things I've seen in a long time. Very well written, very well acted. The cast has great chemistry. The casting itself has been phenomenal. It's just like, well, I wonder who they're going to get to play this character. And then you see who they cast, and you're like, crap, yes, sir.
Yeah, I just hadn't kept up with it. That's my bad.
It's I won't spoil.
Well, we can.
But we in no way whatsoever get any kind of affiliation or anything from HBO Max. But I have
Since
mentioned
Warner Brothers, they kicked me out.
Yeah, they fired his ass. Sorry, no. If you are a huge fan of the show, aside from us, which you should always listen to and watch. I have always, if I find a podcast I like, I will recommend it, and I hope people out there do the same for us. The HBO Max's official podcast of The Last of Us, which airs literally moments after the show. Because Richard, here's what happened. I almost screwed up. It was last week. But because of the Super Bowl...
Oh, the Friday.
They aired it on Friday. Well, I was at work. And on my way home from work, you know how when, sometimes one podcast ends, your next queued up one starts?
Right.
Well, it's not that I had the Last of Us podcast queued up, but I follow that podcast.
So it
played into it, and they started playing clips from it, and I was just like, no! Almost out the window. So it was like I had to stop. But I really do, if you are a really deep fan of the show, I do recommend listening to the podcast. If you're like us, if you're the type of person that watches a movie and then watches it again with the commentary,
yeah,
this is the podcast. Because a podcast like this doesn't take anything away from me, it adds to it.
Yeah, because you get little insights.
Yes. Here's an interesting fact that by now probably everybody knew. But the actor that plays the Melanie Lewinsky, she was the leader in the taken over town.
Oh, okay.
The town that was the people had taken over from Fedra.
Okay.
Her second in command, her I don't want to say sidekick, but her right hand man.
Okay.
He was the guy that did the voice of Joel's brother in the video game.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, it means absolutely nothing to anybody else, but for somebody like me, I absolutely love those little details. You learn so much. What's really cool is, especially because the person that hosts the podcast is Troy Baker. He did the voice of Joel in the video game. And the other two people in the podcast are the showrunners. One of them was one of the creators of the video game. And it's hilarious to hear them tell stories about how they were coming up with scenes for the show where the guy from the show says, well, what if we shot it during the day and we had this person do this? Then you hear the guy that created the game go, son of a bitch! Why didn't we use that in the game? You know what I mean? They play off each other so well. So yes, I really recommend that podcast. The last couple episodes... Oh, what I was going with this is... The thing that's great about the show is it's phenomenal for people who have played the game, and it's phenomenal for people who don't know anything at all about the game.
Yeah, I liked the first few episodes.
Yes. And what's nice about it is if you, like me, and have played the game, it sticks faithfully enough to the game to where, we're talking scene for scene. It's amazing. Wow. Scene for scene, dialogue for dialogue, where... There's even a couple of Twitter pages that are dedicated to, the split screen that shows here's the game and here's the show, action, and they're within sync. But at the same time, being a show, they're able to expand this universe. Because, like, everything with Frank and Bill, they expanded on that. They deviated from what happened in the video game. It was a lot more fleshed out, quite different than the game. But it was still phenomenal. I mean, it was The Last of Us. It was an episode of The Last of Us that had little to no clickers or little to no Joel. But it was still one of the best written episodes. It was a phenomenal episode.
So it's kind of like they were just expanding in like some of the holes
Yes.
and stuff that's in the game.
Yes.
Because they didn't have time for it in the game, or it probably wouldn't play out in the game.
Right, because like they even mentioned in the podcast, like in the game you play it from Joel and Ellie's point of view. Well, there's a lot of other things happening in this universe, in this world,
Right.
that they couldn't show because they didn't have anything to do with Joel or Ellie. The explanation of the outbreak. You know, that clip at the very beginning of the show with the old 70s?
Yeah.
That still messes me. That one still messes me up. That was well done. And then when they showed, what was it, Thailand or overseas where they believe the outbreak started, their explanation of it is how it's a fungus and it's growing and mutating. Not in the game, because they never had the chance to expand on it, you know. But it fleshes it out. It's stuff like that even enhances the game, because now you know.
Oh, so you can go back and play the game and understand.
Yeah,
maybe
now you know this is how it spread. You know, it was mostly like flour and sugar, and that was one of the major exporters of the entire world. You know, and the stuff with. The town that was taken over, again, with Sam and his brother, we got to see more of that expanded backstory. And like it's like this, the show, if you've played the game, you're going to be very fulfilled, but you are still going to be surprised. Because everything that happened with Sam and his brother, the characters were in the game, but their story diverges a little bit. Like in the game, the younger brother isn't deaf.
Oh.
And he's a little bit older, you know. But the way they played it, with him being just a little bit younger than Ellie in the show, added to it, because now it gave you the chance to see Ellie in the Joel role. She was the older one that was looking out for
the younger
one, which was just
that makes sense. Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, you know, it really is. It's one of those things where they have proven without a shadow of a doubt that you can stick 60 to 70% to the source material. And when I say stick, I mean stick. Again, word for word, frame for frame, line for line dialogue, you know. But still make it fresh enough to keep everybody interested. It is possible. I'm looking at you, Witcher. Y'all have games that you could have been doing this shit on, you know. But no, the last...
went that way.
Yeah. But... And... Another thing that I think I attribute to why the show is as successful as it is not only is it good writing, but a good cast, is when I found out that Pedro Pascal and the young girl that played Ellie were already familiar with each other from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't, like scene for scene, but it was just like, when you have a familiarity with somebody, you have a rapport with somebody, you have chemistry with that person.
You can make it work.
You can make it work. Which, slight tangent, like why one of my favorite shows, Letterkenny, is so good, because the more I learned about the people that make the show, like, they're all friends in real life. And not just like BS, like when you see one's Instagram, and you see dude off in the background, drinking a beer, you see that they're really good friends, and that translates on screen. So when you got characters like Joel and Ellie, whose actors are already kind of, Pedro's a good guy. He's just got that natural, I'm a dad, I'm going to take care of everybody, I like that one meme I saw. By 2030, all shows are going to be Pedro Pascal and an orphan. Which I am all about. I am all for it. But you see the two of them like outside of work. Just the chemistry between the two of them. Like, that's why it works. This isn't, okay, cut, go to my trailer, I'm going to my trailer. No, it's like, hey, tell your mom I said hi. Or you coming over for dinner. And that translates well.
That's hard to do with a puppet, though.
Yeah. Not that puppet, though. Come on, man.
I know. That puppet's really angry.
Dude, I like to consider myself a full-grown man, but there were times where I saw behind-the-scenes stuff with that puppet where I'm like, are we just being told it's a puppet? You know what I mean? Like, it's that movie where it's just like Galaxy Quest, where it's like, they're really an alien, but we're going to portray them as an alien so nobody knows they're an alien, But, oh my God, seeing Pedro Pascal on Saturday Night Live, which I've given up on that. I am of that generation now, Richard, where I'm all like, that's not my cat. No, it's not that. Just when I went to watch it, I'm like, I realized, like, I don't know who the hell any of these people are.
That's why they have the internet now. You just watch the clips.
Yes! Dude, that man has got comedic chops. He really does, man. Like that, the one clip where he's in hospital, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. You hold my hand. Oh my God, man, okay, look, I'm calling out to all of nerddom. Now, remember a while back ago when the internet found out that Henry Cavill was a tried and true nerd? We saw him build his own PC. We saw him reading. We know he's a nerd. We swore we were going to protect him. We let him down. I don't know how we failed him, but, Witcher fell apart. I don't know how we did it, but, and then, the Man of Steel, we have failed him. We cannot fail Pedro Pascal.
He was trying to groom himself to be the next Bond.
I think, yeah.
And it's not going to work.
Yeah. But I am saying, man, we need to protect Pedro Pascal. He's just a good guy, man. he is legitimately like one of those guys the more you learn about him as a person, you're like, that's a good dude. It's like the other day I saw some pictures, it was just like him and some like woman walking down the street, and I was just like, oh, what is that? I'm not a celebrity guy, but I'm like, oh, it was his sister. He was hanging out with his sister. Bro, that's a good guy, So yeah, I really do. I attribute The Last of Us to it's the perfect storm. You've got great source material, great writers because they were part of the source material,
right,
and great actors. And I wanted to mention to you, Richard. Remember I told you one of the first nights that we talked about the show. It was like after the first episode, where I told you I'm listening to Pedro's voice, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but I realized oh my God, he sounds just like Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
I know. I mentioned it to you. It's like I closed my eyes and I'm like, he sounds just like Nathan Fillion, and I thought I was crazy until I was watching some clips and it was Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac together. And it was just like one of those internet shows or whatever. But I've seen a bunch of them. It was the ones where they get the two people together and they go over Googled questions about them.
Okay. Like
the first one is Pedro Pascal? And then underneath it's like 4 different, things, and they pull one off and it's just like, then they answer those questions. Like the most Googled questions.
Okay.
It's not a talk show. I think it's an internet show. But one of them had to do with Nathan Fillion, and I felt so justified. I'm like, I know I wasn't the only person. But yeah, a lot of people were kind of skeptical about Pedro when he got cast, just because the image that we all had in our mind when we played the game, who we see as Joel. I mean, like Ellie, they got dead on. I mean, like, holy God, is she not related to Ashley Johnson like that? But no, man, you gave him that gray beard, you threw him in the flannel, and it was just like, yep, that's Joel. So yeah, I absolutely, honestly, one of the best shows that I'm watching right now is The Last of Us.
At least we get more of him in another couple weeks.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh man, those were the previews.
Yeah.
Oh man. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait to see where they're going to take this story on Mandalore with him with the Darksaber, and
they're going to have to reunite the. I think they're going to reunite them. Is what I think. I mean, it has to lead towards that.
Yeah.
I know that. I think they can just go wherever they need to go, but that's what they need to do with the Mandalorians.
Yeah. I like that in the show they acknowledge, especially when we first meet Bo-Katan, when like she took her helmet off, and they're like, you know, he's just like, oh, you're one of those. You're one of that sect. And it's just like, you know, it's like, okay, there's obviously some history here. You know, let's...
Well, if you watch the Clone Wars, they dug into that a lot.
Yeah.
And then how the one was a rebel splinter group and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The true traditions and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe they will get into all that, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. Live action. What more would you expect, you know?
Oh, yeah. We got to see Baby Grogu kicking some Jedi ass, just picking up creatures and just like, yoink. Yeet.
Well, you know, that's just like, you know, you've been watching Bad Batch, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, we're getting a lot of background history there and how the Empire formed, you know.
Yeah.
That one whole episode.
That's another thing we haven't mentioned, we haven't got a chance to mention, was the Bad Batch, man. God, that is...
I mean, that whole episode when, what's his name, played the Emperor again.
Oh, yes.
That was the episode.
And you got to see more of the Senate and how the democracy is failing, and you know.
Well, it was all that big setup to get them to do the work for them.
Yeah.
And Rex fell for it.
Yep.
You know, it was just bizarre to see Rex not... I mean, I can see why they thought what they were doing was the proper thing to do, because the senator thought she was doing what was right, but at the same time, it just led into what the Emperor wanted. And
that was the other nice thing about that story that you never really thought about, and it could have been done really in a really boring way, but just addressing the fact that, hey, these clones have rights.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. That's something you ever, when you think of Star Wars, you think of, oh, you know, flying and mirror. Yeah. Makes complete sense. I mean, there was a lot of clones, and they are now within, you know, just the universe, you know,
and now, how does the rapid aging process affect this?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why they said that they weren't going to give them, the one argument about them not getting rights was like, why? You guys are going to be alive for another, you know.
Whatever amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, you know, it's just bizarre, you know.
Yeah. And it's not something they can really go back on, because the time period, say if there was a cure found, it's like, oh, we found a cure to the...
But they're old.
Yeah, and it's well established in, you know, for us, current canon, New Hope canon.
Yeah.
You know...
They're gone.
Except
for a handful that's wasn't part of that process, or is old, or really old. Because Rex is in episode 6.
Yes.
Supposedly.
The one soldier in Indoor with the beard.
It is supposed to have been Rex.
Yep.
Now.
I know which one.
It's a retro can. You know, but
it was just some guy with a white beard. Make him Rex. Works for me. But no. Oh, man.
Of course, that just wrapped up with them on the, you know, losing Tech.
Yeah.
Because Tech goes with Rex and stuff, which I could see. You know, that's how it made sense. All that made sense on what they're doing and how that show has evolved and given us the backstory.
Yeah, Tech wouldn't have hung around just for the sake of the show. In that universe,
right?
Like you said, it made sense that he would be like, well,
this is the bigger cause. I
Yeah.
need to do this. So I really think the way they're progressing with that, and then we get to see more of the background of the one that they're working for.
Oh, the alien. Yeah.
I can't think of her name, but
Yeah.
and so hopefully the next season we can even see even more, and maybe how that's tied to the Syndicate.
And it was nice too that they were still able here and there throw in a nice standalone episode, like the one with Wanda Sykes, where she was the bounty hunter, not the bounty hunter, the treasure hunter.
Yeah,
that was just fun.
Yeah, that was more Indiana Jones than it was Star Wars. That's getting our appetite wet for the new movie.
Yeah. The only thing I had with that is if you're a fan of the video game, going back to video games, Horizon Forbidden West or Horizon Forbidden Dawn. When they activated that robot, I'll show. It looked like a damn tall neck. Like that was my first thing they just put a laser gun on a tall neck, man. But it was a well needed palate cleanser.
Yeah.
They just needed to do something light and fun, and
yeah, it worked for what it was. So
it's still, man, to hear Wanda Sykes do a voice on Star Wars, man. I never thought I would have seen. I love Wanda Sykes. She is a great comedian. The Daily Show, yes. If they cast her, I know she did a guest spot for the hosting. Completely stand up, yes. Star Wars, tell me more. Okay,
and it worked.
And it worked. She played that character very well.
Yeah.
Great. That's one of the things I love about.
That's why I hope we see more of that background.
Yes.
That interconnection, and I still think that has to do with the Syndicate or whatever.
Yeah.
And now we have to go downhill. We have to talk about it. I know you was reluctant.
It's pretty bad when my face goes somber in reference to The Flash, and I'm not talking about Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, guess what? Season 9.
9 episodes.
Season 9 of The Flash has premiered.
It's like that loop,
It sure did. It premiered. It was a thing. It was on TV, and that happened. No, please, if you get a chance to go back through the archives, which Richard will tell you where to find. We used to love this show. I sung its praises highly.
I think it was round 4.
It is, and look, if you are is was were still a fan of that show, kudos to you. I am not going to harsh you.
I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I can watch it and just see what it is, but
here's the thing about it is though, when I watch it, I don't bash on it because it's a bad Flash. It's just badly written.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Episode 1 of season 9. Groundhog. Really? We're going there. What's next? Clip show? Really? Are we just going to do it? Oh, I think they did a clip show. But the other thing, okay, here's what bothers me about the show. Is that after 9 years, they still fall on the same exact formula. Barry gets upset about something. He's an asshole about it. It pisses everybody around him off. He then learns why he was being an asshole or how he was being an asshole. And then everybody forgives him and it's all better. Dude, it's a formula. Again, first episode, Barry's concerned about the future, so he makes a book that will document every single thing that's going to happen, so he treats Iris like garbage. That's an asshole. Iris refuses to break the loop because she doesn't want this life that Barry has, is forcing upon her because it's safe. Learns he's an asshole. At the end of the episode, they break the loop and they go and do everything together. He learned his lesson. Every God, blast it! It's at some point you gotta agree that Barry is a toxic person. It's like, minor inconvenience. Barry's gonna be an asshole. Yep, he sure was. Oh, he was scared about not being fast enough? Well, he's gonna isolate all of his friends and alienate them? He was an asshole. Oh, he learned that it hurt this person's feelings. I'm sorry. All's forgiving. Redemption. No. And they went right back into it again. And
still no baby.
What the shit, dude? Seriously. I don't know who their babysitter is, but if that job comes up on Craigslist, I will apply for it because that is a full-time job. This is not a part-time job.
That's a nanny mommy status.
God. This is like in every one of those sitcoms where you've got the spoiled brat woman who's just like, oh, my nanny used to do this for me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? That cliche where it's just like the rich parents who the kid was raised by the nanny and No. This is like the blue collar version of that.
But how can they afford?
I have no damn
full-time baby care.
Because I don't know whose job is what is anymore. Because Cecilia used to be a public defender. I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
She's a defender of
metahumans. Is that still? Is she still? I don't know. I haven't seen her at her job.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Barry. The whole, it's like, well, I wanted to promote you to this. I'll make it work. The hell you will. How the hell? Look, I get the chief knows that he's the Flash.
Right.
Hey, guess what? Yes, I appreciate from the bottom of my heart that you saved the city from Gorilla Grodd. I sent you some blood samples 2 days ago. Where the shit? When is he in the lab?
Do you think you have time to do this part? Oh, yeah.
Oh, make time, says the guy who broke time. When Barry Allen says he'll make time, raise an eyebrow.
Literally.
Raise an eyebrow. I was like, you are talking metaphorically, right? Well, time out, bro, Cephas.
I just vibrate real fast. There's two of us.
Oh, God, you haven't watched the most current episode because they took that to the ridiculous
I know.
level.
I heard that's why I said that. I gotta watch it.
It's just...
That's okay. You're not gonna ruin anything for me.
Look, we were talking about this. Here's what I really believe happened. Like, look, we are all excited. We have confirmation that Steve Amell, Doug Ramsey, and the Guardians, the Legends are going to come back. So guess what? They're like, the producers are like, we are guaranteed these viewers. In the meantime, don't give a goddamn. Groundhog's Day, run it.
There's only 7 episodes left.
So you know about Caitlin because that was at the end of the last episode. So yeah, spoiler alert. And evidently everybody in this show has to be a super genius. No, there's no ands, ifs, or buts, because the dude that was shacking up with Frost, who I liked him. I liked the two of them.
Yeah.
The bartender guy. Evidently, it wasn't good enough that he was just a bartender rapscallion that, saw the light and was changing his ways for Frost. No, evidently, he's a goddamn genius now, too, because he's spewing the jargon like, well, if you isolate the chromosome from the protein, this is what Caitlin would have wanted. Like, no, you don't get to say those words. I am not diminishing anybody's intelligence, but it's established you were a criminal. That, not even super criminal.
He's been taking classes. He's got his Phoenix education.
Oh, that well played. Okay, I'll give you that. That's good. That was solid.
11.
Oh my God! But no, Caitlin died in this drawn out process. So at the end of the episode that you watched, this character is meeting Barry and Iris and everybody. Nobody gives a shit. And what I say is, if I found out that you're dead, but this dude over here looks exactly like you, I'm bummed the hell out because my best friend is dead. I don't care that you're not him. But nobody gives a shit. Oh, it's really hard accepting that Caitlin's gone. By the way, I run a media company now. No. When we see Barry Allen losing his shizizes over a random citizen dying, like, I could have been there. I could have stopped this. No! Your best friend for 9 years. Well, I'm really upset about that, man. By the way, do you know if we can do... Bad acting, bad writing.
Yeah, bad writing.
Bad writing. No, the only thing that will save this for me, and they never knew how to handle Caitlin.
Right.
They never knew how. They lost being able to handle Caitlin when they lost Cisco, because the two of them were two halves of one. And it's not knocking either one of the actors. It was characters and storytelling. They were two halves of a whole. And when they lost Cisco, then they tried to bring Chester in, which I'm not dogging Chester.
He's pretty good for this part.
No, I'll give him that. Yeah. He is one of the highlights of this season. I like him as a character.
Because he's got that little bit of comedic to it.
Yes. But he wasn't there to be Caitlin's foil. He's there to be Allegra's foil and to have something there. So we're left with Caitlin being out on her own. Well, even Caitlin, even Frost had what's-his-nuts.
Right.
They didn't know what to do with Caitlin.
Yeah, I think they just needed to write her off. I mean...
Well, if that was the case, write her off. But this whole thing about, oh, well, her father programmed in the mind the sequence of DNA that if she says the secret word, she becomes Frost. And it's, oh, come on, man. I mean, even within the realms of science fiction and the realms of disbelief, bruh.
And where's the baby?
Where's the baby? Because in this episode, they're trying to train. Because evidently even though they continuously show Star Labs, I'll give them one bit of continuity credit. It was, if you look over the years, they have been slowly rebuilding it.
Right.
First of all, how? Who the frick is making any money in that place? I mean, at least when Harrison was around, it was explained that, it was patents and stuff.
Yeah. He owns all those. Doesn't Barry own those patents? So he's probably still bringing in the money.
Maybe, but I mean...
Because I thought he
I know Harrison, or Thawne as Harrison, willed everything.
Yeah.
But... Okay, so but still evidently there's only 2 rooms. There's the Cortex, there's the Med Bay, and there's...
the prison area.
Well, they haven't even shown it for a long time.
And they have the track thing.
Yeah, the actual particle accelerator, which they haven't shown for a while.
Yeah.
But we have a football... Really, this is their equipment. They have a tire hanging from a chain, and Cecilia's got a football. And no one thought that, hey, we're training this untested person who just got telekinetic powers. Let's have $30,000 flat screen plasma TVs everywhere. Hey,
it's a dime a dozen.
Hey, man, let's bring it down to street level. If I'm teaching Ricky Vaughn over here to throw fastballs before his glasses, I'm hiding TV. But again, they're showing her training, right? Like,
why don't they have a training facility?
I don't know.
We're going to do it in the lab.
Yeah. While Chester's over here working on stuff. and then later, when they brought the big pod that Caitlin, was experimenting in,
Oh, okay.
They brought it to the same goddamn room that just 2 minutes ago had a tire swing. But, again, where's the baby? She's like, oh, I got football, I'm using the force. Oh, I broke that. Where the baby? Like, they literally could have just had if they had just put a buggy up to the side, I'd have let it go.
Or one of those car seat things sitting on the
Yeah.
counter.
Or a hopper. You remember those things we used to put in doorways and the baby could have done this, you know?
When's the baby going to get superpowers? Oh.
Maybe that's what they're explaining. The baby's Jack, and it's just been stuck invisible. Oh, it's been here the entire time. And then we're gonna get the clip show, but they're gonna Photoshop the baby into every background.
Yeah, the clip show's got to be coming.
Oh, it's gotta be. But, oh man! And then we're going through the throwaway villains again, where the first one was the new Captain Boomerang,
Yeah.
who they bothered to explain nothing about.
Yeah, he just randomly shows up.
Yeah, and it's just like, and oh my.
But he's tied into the bigger plan.
Yeah,
Remember,
and the thing. And they had this big cord industry thing that just happened to be in the middle of the middle of the street
with time energy or something.
And Barry kept doing it. And then again, it goes back to they're following the same formulas where Barry can't do shit without Iris. Because it took Iris to think of, well, why don't I shoot him? That was the plan. I'll shoot him. Because it's the Iris show, and it's the Iris and Starlab show with guest star The Flash. Hey, guess who's going to be in this episode? Grant Gustin. But no, it took her with a gun, and then even that, he set off the bomb, which evidently, not only did Barry phase through the bomb, he phased the nuclear explosion.
Right. As it went through everybody.
No, you're not buffering right now. I'm in idiot lock because of that. Again, you're talking to a hardcore sci-fi fanatic.
Well,
my level of disbelief is in the Richter scale. He phased a nuclear explosion.
And he didn't break a sweat.
No, he didn't. He didn't even need to go to Big Belly Burger when he was done. Now, where did it go?
He should have at least went to Jitters, you know.
Yeah, where did it... Yeah, it went through the entire city, but guess what? Nuclear explosions, they're round. They're circular. And they go like this. They go like this. I'm making a circular motion with my hand for people that I haven't lost on the podcast yet. Guess what? It's gotta go somewhere. And without Barry being in contact with it, how did it stay phased? It's...
The molecules went away.
Oh, it's so bad. So
At least
bad.
we got a couple weeks and the other last of the CW stuff comes out.
Oh, what do we got?
Superman or Lois.
Oh,
Superman.
yeah, okay. Wait. Let me. I gotta reset myself. Look. The Flash is horrible. It's just bad. It's badly written. It's bad. Nobody cares anymore. The actors are literally phoning it in. Yeah. So okay.
Because March will be here soon.
We do still have Superman and Lois. I still love Superman and Lois. Yes! We got to see a really kick-ass sneak preview of the upcoming season of Superman and Lois. I liked... The one thing... I might be reading too much into this, but with the addition of the new actor playing Jonathan...
Right.
Or no, George... I love that show, and even I do this.
It's not John. It's the other.
Jonathan is the one with powers.
Right.
I always remember that because John Kent is Superboy. Jordan, with the new actor playing Jordan.
Yeah.
They mention a birthday. I'm wondering if that is just kind of like... No, I don't mean like...
Yeah.
It's like the show's way of saying like this is...
Yeah, starting over.
Yes, you know. I'm not getting metaphysical in the show. I'm just saying is that the writer's kind of playing artistically, you know.
Just like saying I was a different person back then.
Yes, you know. I remember you when you were blonde. Dick York? No. But It looked it. I
It looks like it might be fun.
Yeah. And I liked in the trailer that they showed that one of the things that made that show good is they were able to properly, we won't go back to Flash, properly showcase the supporting characters in a truly supportive way. We got to see Lana and her husband separate. We got to see their... And guess what? I liked it. I was invested in that story. I liked those characters because they were well written.
And it affected the whole family.
Yes.
It affected the kids and stuff too.
In the dog, yes. Because it was well written. It wasn't just like, check and Allegra going out. Look at it, 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 look at it.
The only part where they strayed a little bit was when the Kryptonians was coming into the human body.
Yeah.
A little bit. That was that's the worst they've done, I think.
Yes. That was ambitious is where that one got.
And it just didn't quite work in my mind.
Yeah. I agree. Yes, it needed more backstory is what it needed.
Yeah.
Because like if you thought about it parallel to like what we knew about the movie Man of Steel, where everybody was genetically created and they were manipulated and everything was kept on the Matrix.
Right.
Okay, well if you took that and you put over here, well we don't have the means to be biological Kryptonian, so we got to use the next best thing. Yeah, we got host. Yeah. Okay, but there wasn't enough.
Yeah, to understand why the powers kind of worked and stuff.
Yes.
I was a little thrown by that.
That one threw me off too. It's like, yeah, I understand that you put their brain in it.
Yeah.
In that vessel, but you biologically changed them as to Kryptonian. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, if that's as bad as we're going to get, we're fine because that was still.
It was doable. It was.
Yes.
Yeah. I just hope we keep that family interactions going.
That's what makes
that.
the show work. And especially with the like this last season with John Henry and Natasha.
Yes.
Because they're well written and they're brought into the family.
Yeah.
This is a family show first, Superman show.
And that's a weird how you want to say it setting because that's Lois's daughter. But not that Lois, So that was always nice how they reacted. Yes,
which is how it wasn't the whole like, oh man, Caitlin's dead now, but this new completely different person, And it wasn't like amnesia or something, like Richard woke up one day and he thinks he's Bob. Well, bummer, I'll be Bob's buddy now, No. Genetically clean. Caitlin is essentially dead. Oh, that's a bummer, man. Well, I like her blue streaks. No. They had an issue, and they still addressed it. And they didn't just dismiss it. Like, the daughter had a breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
Because that's not her mom. I mean, she had problems adjusting.
Yeah, but you look and sound... and are technically genetically the same as my mom, but you are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were playing out that whole multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked it because they were stranded there now.
Yeah.
And basically Earth was destroyed.
Yep.
So it worked.
Yeah, and it was a little. Again, it's like properly deviating from like the source material. So that's a great example. Well, I mean, first the fact that Superman not only has a child but has twins. But in the comic books, Natasha is John Henry's uncle or niece.
Niece, yeah.
Yes, not. Hey, kept the character. You kept a family dynamic. Changed it a little bit to make it work better.
And it works with that series.
Yes, it does. It works very well. It works better with that series than had it been...
the other way, yeah.
The other way, yeah.
Because the comic explains it that way, and the series... Because that's what I think they wanted to do that because of the whole Kryptonians taking over the humans and stuff. They wanted to see where they could stop that.
Yes.
At least that's how I don't know. That's what makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, Supergirl. No, I thought about that because it was another gripe I had with the Flash because they name dropped Kara, and I'm like, no, you have no right. You have no right.
They're just tidying up the whole CW.
Yeah.
Because Superman Lois is not part of that.
Yeah.
Arrowverse.
Because you're telling me at like no point like Kara wouldn't. Hey, Barry. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's Kara. Nuclear cloud just blew through me. Do you know anything about it?
No, she's off planet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love that excuse.
Off planet.
They've used that one too many times.
Oh, yeah. But, no.
I think that what we're going to look for this season will be hopefully going in more different directions, too.
Yes. News from when we talked about HBO Max, we did find out. I think we talked about it before, but this is the last seasons for both the Titans and for Doom Patrol.
The second half when it comes out.
Yeah, which I hope they at least give both shows enough respect to give them.
I think that's why they split it, because I think they found out they were being canceled, so they split the season so they could change some stuff around.
Good, yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Because that's a damn shame. Those were both really good shows.
It's just part of that tidying up with HBO and Discovery,
And that's, we talked about it before, that's where we're reaching the plateau of streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Is really showing its effect, because now it's just like, we are our own entity. We can make the shows that we want, and we made this great show, and everybody likes it. Well, we spread ourselves too thin, and now as a network...
We don't have no money.
We don't have no money, so now we can't do what we wanted to do. So all that great stuff that we did earlier that you really liked, can't do it anymore.
It's up for sale.
Yeah.
But that helps, like Tubi out, because they have some of the reruns from HBO Max.
Yeah.
So people who never wanted to pay the money for HBO Max could now watch it on Tubi.
Yep.
Because Tubi's free and ad supported.
And you know what? I am not against. I know it's a character. It was the monkey's paw where I wish I could watch what I want to watch and not have to watch. I'm not saying I miss commercials, but I got the handoff. It's like I see it now. But.
Yeah, and then like even affecting Disney. So when it starts affecting Disney, because like Netflix, we could see their problem, but they kind of corrected some of theirs too, because they just went through and just canceled everything.
Yeah, yeah. And they're gotten to the point where even when they have good material, people's faith in them is so out of whack now. Like, recent example, I just finished watching Lockwood & Co. on Netflix.
Okay.
Evidently it was based on a book. I never didn't know anything about it. Saw it. It had to do with ghosts. I really liked it. And then I found out, it's always based on a series of books, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the same boat as everybody else right now. It's just like, are we going to get a second season? That's why I really did. Yeah. I really did like the show. It was British. There's ghosts, something happening. There's hunt, blah, blah, blah. Then one of the underlying subplots is like one of the main characters in the loft. There's a room that nobody ever goes into. You're not allowed to go into that room. So what's in the room? It's like, even I don't know what's in the room. The main character. When the series was ended, I was just like, I gotta look it up, man, because if it's based on a book, I want to know, because I'm curious, and I am not banking.
Yeah,
they might get another season. But I looked it up and went, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it didn't ruin anything for me, but...
But you never know anymore. I mean, if Magnum P.I. can jump ship over from CBS to NBC...
Holy hell, dude. No one...
I'm just saying, anything's possible.
Oh, man, yeah, that one...
Because I was watching NBC because I was watching the new Night Court. And they ran a commercial for that. And I go... Wait, is this CBS? Because I forgot. Because I go, that's canceled. Why is it on NBC? And then I realized NBC had picked it up. And I'm going...
What do you think of it?
What, Night Court? I like Night Court. It really picks up from the other series. And I think it really is a nice continuation. not necessarily a reboot.
Right, because I know I haven't gotten to watch it yet because I don't have Peacock, but I've seen previews for. I really want to watch it. It looks because I remember that show.
Oh, I loved it.
Same.
Series.
Oh my god! And Night Court was one of those shows, Richard, where I hate to say it like this because I'm old too, but it was like I was at an age where why did I like this show? Like I was of the age where a comedy, yes, but it was set in a courtroom. Like why? Two other great examples. Why the hell was I growing up obsessed with the Golden Girls? These are 4 old ladies living in Florida. I can recite episode. Designing Women. As soon as that core memory was unlocked in every episode, I was like, whoa! I remember watching every episode of that. Murphy Brown again. I'm sorry, Candace. People that weren't my age.
Yeah.
And then I loved all those shows. And Night Court was the same thing. I was like, why the hell did I like? Why? So yeah, I watched all the Night Courts.
Yeah,
and
this picks up really well, and especially having the Dan character still on.
Yeah.
It just kind of really helps cement it with the original, and with her being the daughter of the original.
Harry,
yeah. So it kind of works because the first episode was a little wonky because they were trying to cram too much of the old with the new.
Yeah.
So just get past that one, then it just levels out. I mean, the first one's great too, but it just feels like they were trying to. It was like, how you want to call it, one of those shoe pins in between, trying to. Trying to make both work together.
Yeah.
So it, like I said, it works.
Right.
Almost like the '90s show,
Where
it just picks right up,
Yep.
So, wow, we talked about lots today.
We did talk a lot. If you've watched anything recently that you would like to talk about, or if you have, I threw some opinions out there. We would love to hear from you, and I say that because I don't want to be the guy to say hit like and subscribe. I'm trying not to.
Do that though.
Please do. I'm sorry. Please hit like and subscribe. Let us know. Interact with us. We want to hear not just the fact that people are watching. No. That's why we love going to shows and everything, because we love talking to you people, Let us know what you thought. Richard, where can they let us know what they thought?
The best place is just go to UVN.plus. That's that's the original Underground Video Network, UVN.plus. So then all our links to our socials are there, and we are on Twitch.
Right on. So on behalf of Richard Catterjohn and myself, Mike Boroff, thanks everybody for watching and listening. We hope to see you at a comic book store, convention, movie theater soon. So wait a minute. Does it work for me to tell you to press the button because you're over? Richard, hit that stop button.